Hello, everyone, and welcome to TheBlack.Blog. I'm Charniece, the founder of HeavieTalk Media. Today, I'll be speaking with the founder of Stated in Them. So we could start with just telling us a little bit about who you are.
So I am Latoni Cromes. I'm an educator and entrepreneur. Most of y'all probably know me from Stated in Them. That is my community and student engagement business. And so basically, Stated is just trying to educate and empower everybody authentically through creative expression and community building. So yeah, mother, just out here doing the things, as many things as I can while, still feeling good and doing them.
No, that's right. So talk about the name. Love the name Stated in Them. Talk about how you came up with the name for those that don't know.
Okay, so what stated means, I mean, just by definition, Webster at least, it means something that is clearly spoken or written. And so back in the 90s, early 2000s, when I was growing up, we would say stated or state my word. And as you can use it as a question or an explanation or just a period, but you're asking the person to be clear in what they're saying. So if it's like, man, my grandma made some pies today, I'm like, stated. You like state it, or state my word. Like, yes, I definitely mean that grandma made the pies and they finna be official. So it means to be clear and to be honest. And so for me, that is an attitude. That is how I like to conduct myself. That is how I hold myself accountable to my word, because your word is all that you have until you can follow through with your actions. And so I was just like, you know what? Why can't my business be called stated, and so it's stated on paper, the short version is stated, but like on paper, excuse me, is stated in them because it's stated. I could have said stated in company, but that's just not how I talk. So a lot of that is leaning into my own mother tongue. And so stated offers more than just workshops. We're out here doing community events. There's also merch. Stated offers creative consulting. And so the NIM or them, however you pronounce it, depending on where you're from, it means in addition to, so it could be just the people that I'm working with or the other projects that I have going on. So you just you never know what's stated in them. You never know.
Absolutely love that. So you talked a little bit about it, but what actually is the mission of Stated? What do you guys do?
Yes, definitely. So with my community engagement portion, I am looking to bring people together in an intentional kind of way. Meaning like I'm out here in this world, and so I want to create events that I feel like, will bring everybody together, well, as many people together as possible that aren't necessarily the norm. So you won't see stated really, you won't see us hosting a party unless it's something is there, unless there's a bigger mission behind the party. But so far, as far as community events, we've done like yoga for the neo soul. Because when is the last time you went to yoga with neo soul music and a yogi who also does poetry? Like, tell me when. We've also done a ladies' night. This vigorous, how do we call it? I'm so sorry. A vigorous, intense pregame. So it was like just to warm up before we go out to the club, if that's what you choose to do. But it was more so about bringing ladies together without the distractions and other like outside noise of going out, giving us a safe space to be. But really, it was more about health and wellness. So we weren't having like champagne and all that other stuff. Yeah, we was popping bottles, but it was held at a Glow Nutrition, which is a nutrition bar, and they had like healthy drinks and stuff. So we're trying to do everything with a twist when it comes to community events. And then as far as student engagement, State's biggest mission is is to get young folks to lean into their literacies. Now, literacy by definition means to read and write, but then there's another definition that means to know what you know, essentially. And so everybody knows something, which means everybody has something to contribute. And so I'm looking to empower the youth, get them to leaning into their literacies, like I said, and to also have them tap into their interpersonal communication skills, because this generation, this is a tech driven generation. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that to an extent. However, there are some essential things that I think that they can benefit from, as far as like relationship building and just self-talk, how they talk to themselves. So I'm trying to get them to just take a step back, or even just expose them to something new, because some of them just don't have that at all.
Love it, love all of that. So you talked quite a bit about a lot of the projects that you guys have done, and in my research, I've seen some of them. I really like the ones that you did. I think in regards to homecoming with the students and just making sure that they were
Yeah.
staying safe during homecoming. So can you talk a little bit about that one that you did? That's my favorite.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Aggie Pride. So my students,
Aggie Pride.
right. And so I guess because I'm an educator, I believe that, it is my role to present information to them in the best way that I feel like they will soak it up. But then I have to take a step back and see what they can do with the information. And so my stated scholars, these are students who I've been mentoring and having workshops with. So we've been doing different activities, and they've been taking notes on how to be good presenters and what it takes to just captivate an audience and what it takes to like present a topic that you are passionate about. And so I asked them, like, so what y'all want to do? Like, it's time for you to teach somebody else, because each one teach one until we're all taught. And so they were like, I think we should talk to the new incoming freshmen about GHO. And for those of y'all who don't know, GHO stands for the greatest homecoming on earth. And there is only one, and that is the one that belongs to North Carolina A&T State University.
Okay.
But so they got, I think we had over 50. I want to say it was over 50. I can't even remember the numbers off the top of my head, but it was a pretty full house. But they were incoming freshmen who had never experienced GHO or who had heard about it. They're new here, and it's like, okay, great, that's cool. But before y'all get out here and lose your mind, let's educate y'all on a few things as far as terminology, and then we had some role playing, some situational awareness, going on. And so that is one that I was very proud of, because I got to sit back and watch my scholars just do their thing. So it was student led, because I feel like I could get up there and talk to them all the time and be like, listen, y'all, don't do this, try to do this, all of that. But, I'm very much so aware of audience awareness and, all of that. So it's like, girl, okay, Miss Combs, of course you're going to tell us that. Okay, well, let me get somebody who, is more so around your age, who knows some stuff, who's experienced some stuff as well. So that's what GHO, the survival kit was about. But yeah, and it was really good, and the students have been asking for that again, so we'll probably run it back.
I absolutely love that. That's something that you definitely should run back, and heavy on that Aggie Pride. So you talked
Okay.
about Aggie Pride every day, all day. So you talked about your stated scholar. So talk a little bit more about that, and how can someone potentially become a stated scholar?
Yes, so stated scholars. So initially, because I am in the process of rebranding certain things, but stated scholars initially was me handpicking students that I feel like have that oomph about them, like they have that stated attitude. That they're everything that they're about is clear and honest, but it was supposed to be about promoting literacy, and again doing those workshops and things like that. And then the interest started growing. And I'm happy about that, but it, it just kind of took off faster than I anticipated. And so that is why I am working on the process and the system of getting more people to be status scholars, because initially I felt like, well, anybody could be a status scholar as long as you are in a position to want to learn more. So, HeavieTalk status scholar, whoever is really has that attitude and that sense of learning about them, cool. But then I'm just like, no, I think that yes, you are a status scholar. However, to be an official one, that there's a couple things that we need you to do over here. So, that means going through our, I guess, like due process or whatever. But, there's somewhat of an application process. And then also, we've got to see what you can do, So it's one thing to claim being a status scholar, but we got to make sure that you can walk it like you talk it and that you talk it like you walk it. You know what I'm saying? So we are in the process of changing how we get people to become official status scholars, because eventually I do want it to be something that is available for younger youth, for high schoolers, and for college students. Our first, I guess you could say, beta group was collegiate, and that is so great. I would like to keep that going. But again, y'all just kind of stay tuned for that, because I got some heat that I'm going to back out once we rebrand it. But pretty much the first group of status scholars were first no, they were second semester. What am I talking? Second semester freshmen, first year sophomores, first semester sophomores, collegiate.
Okay, I've seen a lot. I actually love the Stated Scholars. I would see the different photo shoots that you guys would do, and they would always participate whenever you had some events. And I always really
Yeah,
liked when you guys did the when Stated did the book drives or the donations. So can you talk a
definitely.
little bit about that?
Right. Because it's one thing to learn, but again, you gotta do something with that learning. And so a big part for stated is literacy in all realms. And so I like service projects. I feel like, what is one thing that's standing out for you and what can we do with it? And so for that particular time, I had a stated scholar, and she's actually on a pre-med track. And I just asked her, she wanted to be a stated scholar. So I was like, okay, let me give you some homework. You research stated and tell me where you see yourself. And she came back and she was like, listen, I see myself in the service aspect of stated. And I said, okay, great. So how can you make your mark out here? How can you state your words, state your actions out here in the world? And she was just like, um, I mean, infuse that with what you have going on. You want to be a doctor. And so she was just like thinking about it. She was like, well, maybe we could do something with pediatrics. And I was like, okay, something like what? And she just was thinking. And between the two of us, we came up with a book drive. And so we narrowed it down a little bit more, which was okay, we don't want to just get books for pediatric patients. We want specific books. We want books that look like that have characters and that are written by authors that look like us and also some of the population that she would be serving because she wants to be a pediatrician in the inner city. Okay, awesome. So we had the book drive. We set a goal. That was our March manifestation, where instead of March Madness, because Madness is crazy, girl, and it's ain't nothing crazy about stated. Okay, we're very intentional. So March manifestation was to raise over 200 books that were written by Black and Indigenous, authors. Girl, books came in from everywhere, from California, from
Wow.
Texas, from New York. I mean, the books were coming. I mean, people were adding them to our Amazon list. And I was just like, yes, this is like prime to me community engagement. Like the community all over is contributing to a common goal. And so we end up dividing those books. We sent them over to we got books because they were different age ranges and stuff. So we were able to donate books to Dudley High School, to Wake Forest Baptist Pediatrics, um, to the YMCA Youth Center, and it's somebody else at the tip of my tongue. But we were able to Backpack Beginnings. Yeah, we were able to distribute those books like in different directions, and so it really felt good for all of us that were involved in it. We had college students right there contributing books. They're calling their parents like, "Hey, do y'all got any books?" They going through the books, but it was like also I think eye opening for the people who were contributing because now you have to do a little bit of digging because when you go into these bookstores, a lot of times if you as a Black person or anybody else, another person of color, you don't necessarily see you at the front. So you had to do a little bit of digging, but then once you get into it, we like, oh my gosh, look at these books. These are beautiful books. And so we got to, we had certain authors, we got to meet certain authors who contributed their books. I mean, it was great. It was amazing. And so I was really proud of her for getting into her bag, for doing some research and then just, figuring out how she could carve a path because service is not just it's not a self-serving thing, it's for others. And so I think that experience will carry with my scholar and all the other scholars who contributed and everybody who contributed actually for a long time.
It sounds like a really, really great event. Are you guys going to be hosting another book drive anytime soon for those that want to support?
Yes, we'll do another book drive. We're gonna switch it up a little bit, or there's always listen, bring me the books. Actually, I have books right now because apparently stated well, Miss Chrome's, Miss Tony, I am the book lady. So people are like, oh, you still need some books? I got some books for you. And so people are bringing me books randomly. And I'm like, you know what? I will find them a good home. So the books that I have, I'm probably going to contribute to those, what do they call them? The little libraries where you ride down the street, you see like a little, almost like a birdhouse, but it's a book house. I'm going to contribute to those. But we'll be definitely doing another book drive in the near future.
Another big project that I've seen that you guys did, I cannot remember exactly what month it was for, but I believe it was around, I think, Mother's Day, and you had your supporters of Stated write letters. Can you talk a little bit about that? You know
Yes.
what I'm talking about because I absolutely love that as well.
Right. That was another one of our March manifestations where we wrote, I just invited the community to write some words of encouragement to women who are going through some tough times, because March is also Women's History Month. And so it's one thing that, for us to honor our heroines, but how about the women who might get overlooked? Because there are women heroes right up under our noses that and I'm not saying that shouldn't give your shout outs to the big well-known women and stuff like that, but like, be for real and look at the neighbor next door, the one who used to be looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought that it would be pretty dope to just for all of us to kind of come together and write some words of encouragement, because these cards got dropped off to transitional housing for women and shelters. And so, I mean, obviously, if you are in between some stuff, so in between life periods and stuff, you might need some words of encouragement. So they were able to either write lyrics, something from their heart, whatever, nothing too crazy. I mean, but the cards, some of them were really short, some of them were really lengthy, but I believe that they all came from a very authentic place. So that was something that I was excited that we could do. I can't think of the numbers for that. I want to say maybe we raised near 200 cards or something near 200. And I was just like, yeah, because all it takes is a little bit. Even if we would have had just 5 cards, it wouldn't matter. I just feel like, for real, not to sound cliche, but like, for real, reach out and touch somebody.
Honestly, I completely understand. So I love all that you guys been doing. You talk quite a bit about all of the projects and all the different things that you've done, whether with Stated or with your Stated scholars. So for people that have heard all of this and know for sure that they want to jump in and support, what are some ways that people can support, whether they live in the state where Stated is active or out of the country? How can they support?
Absolutely. So, one, please stay connected. You are more than welcome to dialogue and connect via social media or even email. Like, if you want to just send Stated some ideas, or just to reach out and say, hey, just love the work that you're doing, send us some words of encouragement, because entrepreneurship is hard. You can definitely reach out. The website is statemyword.com. Social media, we're at 21 Stated. That's the number 2, the number 1, the word Stated, all together. So pretty consistent across social media with that name. And also the email, statemyword@gmail.com. I'm open to collaborating with other people. So I feel like that is one of the things that's really important to me, which is why I Stated in them, because I'm finna go over there and work with them and connect with them. So maybe we can collab for community events, or just even a community initiative. Whatever the case may be, if it sounds good, if it sounds like it's in alignment with both of us or necessary parties, then definitely we can do it. You also can follow at Stated Scholars. I forgot all about that page. I'm so sorry, guys. At Stated Scholars on Instagram. And so, yeah, that's the biggest way. I think right now we have been pushing out like what we're doing through social media, and then we're getting ready to start our newsletter. So you can definitely subscribe to the site, statemyword.com. Just go ahead and subscribe so that you can be on our mailing list for the newsletter of the happenings and things to do. So jump in at any time. So like our post, share the post, tell a friend to tell a friend, shop with Stated. It's not really about the actual merch. It's more so about the message that's on there. It's always been about the message and not necessarily the thread. So go ahead and shop with Stated, put your messages out there, get some conversation started, but without even opening your mouth. Just throw it on the hat or the t-shirt. Never know what people are going to come up and say to you.
What are you bringing to the cookouts?
Well,
oh my.
Let me see. Y'all, I'm going to give my safe answer first. My safe answer is I'm going to bring some chips.
Okay, safe answer, chips.
Safe answer is chips. Now, if
What's the other one? I want to hear this one.
Yes, if I really, really love the cookout in which that I'm going to cook something. So my highly requested, people love my pasta salad. People love my baked beans. And also, I know people, you don't usually see cabbage at a cookout, but people be loving my cabbage. So listen, I'm gonna put cabbage on my plate at the cookout if you had it. I would love it if y'all make greens at the cookout. So I'm gonna bring one of those 3. And if I really, really like you, I might bring all 3.
You right. I've never in all of my days heard of cabbage at a cookout. That's something there.
Listen, let me explain, because it's not enough vegetables at the cookout, and I don't want to eat corn on the cob.
What's wrong with corn on the cob?
Nothing is wrong with corn on the cob, but something about the corn being stuck in my teeth, like
I know
biting into,
that's
like,
right. I know
you
that's right.
know,
It
I'm
don't
not
feel
that
right.
much of a, it don't. And it's just like, oh man, I just feel like maybe I'm just too animated when I eat my corn in the when I eat my corn. And when I eat my corn on the cob, I just feel like a cartoon character. So I feel like, listen, bring me some single kernels if you must. I'll eat them with a spoon. Or just let me have my cabbage and I will eat it with a fork and it just won't be a problem. It just won't be a problem. But yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna bring to the cookout.
You're right. I don't think that there is a quote unquote cute way to like eat corn. I think either way you're gonna look a bit messy because it's just
You
the juice is
are.
going everywhere. Yeah, it's just not right. It's not
It's
right. You're right.
not.
You're right. You are absolutely right. So my next question is keeping with all things that are Black. You talked about Aggie Pride, the illustrious North Carolina A&T. So talk about what you think about HBCUs and the role that you think they play in the Black community, if any.
Hmm. So, there was a book that I read, and forgive me for the title. I'll shoot it to you so you can, plug your people in because we love a good book. But basically, this book was kind of eye opening to me, and I'm mentioning this because I went to a HBCU before I read the book, and so I went to the HBCU, and I just was like, okay, like this is cool. I was under the influence of other Aggies, so of course I got pushed in that direction. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. But this book was eye opening to me because it was like the standard. HBCUs were the standard when we talk like when you look at like Black history and Black youth, not Black youth, Black wealth, Black elite, and things like that. And I'm just like, oh wow, like I did not know. Like it was like, no, you need like that's the only option. But to go to a HBCU and then that is it has its own level of prestige. Whereas I feel like currently, given our just the times that we're in, I feel like it's like one of those spaces that maybe people take for granted. It's like, I could go here or there. It's like I got options. Like, yeah, you do, and you do have options, but why not at HBCU where you are in a safe space to learn and also just get out here and experience, different people because Black people are not a monolith. And that was another thing that I learned while I was there. I was like, oh wow, like so we all didn't come from, oh, okay, oh, you do, oh, okay. Like it was just eye opening for me. And so as a person who went to a PWI first, the culture just is different. Black people, Black spaces are generally more welcoming than others. Whereas, our slogan is Aggies do. And so we get right in and we get to helping each other out. Hey, you don't have the book? Okay, I got you. You can, I'm gonna send you a couple pictures of my book, or a couple of different people scan some different. We gonna figure out a way to get it done. Whereas I feel like at a PWI, and it's no shade to them, it's just my own experience. It's a little bit more like competitive. It's like everybody for themselves. Oh, you don't got the book, great. So I'm 10 steps ahead of you. Like, yo, what? What? But HBCUs, at least in my humble opinion, and again my experience at A&T, it was not like that. Like my professors, I was able to put some of my professors down as emergency contacts for my son. Like building community at an HBCU is just a lot different, and I feel like we need that. We need that because I think out here, different people coming up, especially with these social media driven mindsets and outlooks and everything. It's just like everybody is kind of returning to that out for self type of thing. And I'm like, oh nah, because we've always been the village for each other and we need to return to that. And so I feel like if you have an opportunity to go to an HBCU, you should, because that's where that is fostered. So I think that HBCUs, everybody, but listen, Black children, go to a HBCU. Go to HBCU. Black
I
parents,
completely
send your
agree.
child to a HBCU. Even if they don't stay, just go for a semester or two and look outside. I mean, think outside the box. Just really be present in the moment, because again, where you learn is just as important as what you learn. So that was for me was one of the most safest space I've ever learned in, and I was able just to be who I was, and you don't always get that opportunity. We have so many things stacked up against us. Why not go to a HBCU and keep our legacy going?
You just dropped a whole bunch of knowledge. You just dropped a bar too. Like Got it. But you just dropped the bar. I'm gonna have to quote that up. So be looking for that quote. So
Yeah, girl.
as we close out, my one of my last questions to you is, what projects does Stata have coming up? If
Well, guys, I got this thing about me where I don't like to speak on it until it's done. So, if you really want to know if you are that interested, I strongly suggest that y'all follow at 21 Stated across social media, that you subscribe to the website, statemyword.com, because I got some heat brewing, but I want to make sure that you know our formula is straight before I present it to y'all. And in the meantime, make sure that y'all are heading over to the Juneteenth Business Expo to shop with Stated and the rest of the vendors. But yeah, I can't give you the sauce just yet. The sauce is still simmering, y'all. I just wait on it. It's coming. Y'all know I ain't gonna drag y'all through no nonsense. It's coming.
I love that. So as we close it out, tell us where we could find, shop, and support Stated, because I know we have all of the information that you drove. We love the mission and we want to rock with it. So tell us where we could find you at and support.
Right. Okay. So listen, if y'all are in Greensboro, North Carolina, plug in with your girl. I'm trying to be outside a little bit more than I have been. I pull up to events and all of that stuff, you know. We've also currently been doing some press coverage for State My Word Radio. So invite Stated to your happenings. I just like to see what's going on in the community. So there's that. But once again, follow us on social media at 21 Stated, and the website, statemyword.com, or email. Like, listen, girl, I forgot everything that you said. Go ahead and send me email. statemyword@gmail.com. That's the biggest ways that you can stay connected. And also, if you want to go back and listen to episodes of State My Word Radio, it's right there on the website. The merch is on the website. The vision is on the website. Everything is there on the website, y'all.